Hello, this is Dorian Alcantar from the English 2, Composition 2, whatever it may be. My general topic is: are nerds bad in Japan? As nerds get a bad reputation because they are negatively identified as fanboys, geeks, hipsters, to a lesser extent, otakus, which we'll dive into. As far as my title, it's between the divide between nerds in Japan and society and the community. As someone who's into manga and anime, I've always found interesting that you think like, oh, okay, from the land of the rising sun, Japan, maybe anime is more more popular as in there than is America, which these news days we'll get into finds that maybe that's not the case, and maybe in America we look at nerds more favorable than other countries. For instance, like China has banned thousands of animes. High School Dead, Parasite, Afro Samurai, Devil May Cry Man, Lead, Afro Samurai. The list goes on and on. Um, or could it be that nerds are banned Japan and pop culture can be harmful to the community? That's another question we have to ask ourselves. The definition of otaku from the Oxford Lexicon is a noun which moves obsessed with particular aspects of pop culture to determine of social skills. Or in lexicon, otaku is a Japanese term for people who consume interest, particularly anime and manga. Borrowed from Japanese, otaku refers to people who is obsessed with manga, anime, and other forms of Japanese East Asia. Was like discussed in China and other places that may be banned. But why is that these obsessed with the nerd fandom could be bad? Well, a couple of reasons could be four main characters we have in Japan society, and as I try not to butcher these names, could be Hanaka Komuri, Nevada Tan, Yoku Takaraka, and Tetsumu Mizaki. Now, each one of these was divided within the nerd community in Japan, and are what they might be considered the dark side of Japan as far as what happened to them. Hana Komuri was a female Japanese wrestler, very obsessed with anime and manga comics, and like I said, otaku nerdism. Uh, but she was bullied to death over cyberbullying in her community for people, not liking her, even though she was part of that community. We see a lot of that with Japanese idols in Japan, so it makes you wonder, like, maybe nerds are a harmful society in Japan. Not that can happen in America, but other cases like Nevada, which the identity of her has been a mystery. Because obviously the story is she was a 10-year-old girl that killed her classmates, and it was true. It was based support, but it's been secretly, and people have rationalized and studied the psychology of her mindset. Why she did it might have been because she didn't have an understanding of what you should do based off violent video games and animes and comics. It's like mangas. So that could be another reason why animes and manga is not as popular as we would think, or nerds are as accepted in Japan. And then there's Yukiya Tanukiya, who was a famous, again, Japanese idol that killed her lover out of love, what she was said. She did not. She was part of the big nerd community and felt like she did it for the fans and like everyone accepted that was normal. And I feel like if you were to rationalize that, that is not normal behavior. So maybe it was like, again, that's the third fact. I was like, well, maybe these are not why we should be honoring these nerds again in Japan. And the final one I got before I run up on this 5 minute mark is Tatsuya Michiya, the otaku killer. Like we said, otaku is slang for Japanese nerd, or people that are obsessed with manga anime as an obsession as a part of the nerd community, the society of Japan. He killed several people, and he never did with a relationship. The only thing he knew was from Japanese comics. Now, again, as a fan of this stuff, I think like but I feel like maybe it's not as favorable as we think in Japan, because the culture, societies, classes are different. Um, but that's just a peace of mind for those on this 5 minute mark. So again, thank you for listening to me. I'm gonna point out there, wrapping up this video. Um, for more information, always check out your local library or Google it, or catch me outside. Um, this has been Dorian Alcantara, English Project. 5 minutes and 30 seconds.